a bit of
Sorry,
momentum.
I'm just recording this now because then I can put it on YouTube unlisted in case you want to go back over anything.
Okay, all right,
just so you know.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I watched Connor do some like momentum things and stuff like that, and I understand it all, but it's just knowing when to use it and when to not.
Yeah, well, of course, it's very different when one's on one's own, actually pressing the button on real money.
Yeah.
You know, for all the theory that we know, it's like you could watch any number of sports games, can't you? But when you're out there playing the game,
yeah,
you know, it's a different thing. It's like being in the ring, isn't it? The gladiators ring. So if we share screen, what pair were you on? Or
what today?
Yeah.
So today, today, let me just get it up. Euro GBP. It did me a couple of times today.
Okay, I haven't actually looked at that one today. I did look at it last night. Right, Euro GBP.
Also, I've got a question. So you know the scans that come up that are not 80 pips between the C and D point.
Yeah.
So say if the older scan that I've got that is the price is in that older scan and that scan, and one's a buy and one's a sell. Could that mean that it might make the scan before a little bit less accurate because the newer scan, even though we're not using it, is?
No, they're not related. The new scan always takes precedence, and you do need to have your 80 pips minimum C to D, because that's what gives us the 2-to-1 risk to reward, the 20 pips gain for the 10 pips.
We don't use that scan because it's not 80 pips and it's a buy scan.
We wouldn't draw it if it isn't 80 pips.
Okay, but even though we haven't drawn it, would it not?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must say that on occasion, I have actually sneaked to look at the scanner and seen a smaller scan that's fitted in, going the opposite way to what I'm doing. And it has influenced me, and it's not something I sort of say out loud or do a lot because it can mess with your head. And it's just simpler just to follow what Chance and Samantha do if you're following this strategy. But it can, yeah, I see what you're saying, and I have done that, and it can play out that way because you could. It's happened to us recently. You know, we've been in a I can't even remember which one, but say EN for a sell.
Yeah.
And then Connor's posted, oh, there's a new buy scan on that. You know, of course it influences you, but we do generally. I've never heard Chance ever say, oh yeah, I sneak a look at the smaller ones, you know.
Okay. Right.
But I do agree with you, and I have done that myself, and it has influenced me.
Yeah. See, because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and
yeah, well, you've spotted something no one's ever asked me. Not that I've had millions of questions, but I do sneak a look, I must say.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, because when I'm at work, I only have set times I can really get on the scanner and just update it. I'd get up early in the morning to update it before my day, and I update it again throughout the day at certain points. But yeah, it's just a thing that even Connor said to me that he worries sometimes about the channel not being up to date. But
well, I do try and keep, because I'm here at home all the time, I do try and post in the chat group, because I know you guys are all out at work, so I do try and post, oh, D points redrawn or something like that. I think the thing is, stick to the general rule, which is what Chance says. You know, you don't go out on the sports field still buttoning up your shirt. Get your alerts on, get your charts set up, you know, so you know what you're looking for the night before or 2 hours before you go to work or whatever. And then don't trade pitchforks on your phone. Connor knows this. It doesn't work on your phone. Make sure it's timed in your break, and that you sit in the car, or you're in your break, and you've got an hour to focus, or half an hour to focus. And you know, it should work fine, because you can trade. The great thing about this strategy is once you've built that library up, you can trade this 22 hours a day. And we are genuinely trading scans and pitchforks that are 300, 400 days old. So Where were you in this trade then?
I'll have a look
Was it
now.
London session?
Yeah, it was around the start.
Okay, so this is the start, 8 a.m. your time.
Yes. So
I had this pitchfork down here, the white one.
Well, I'm gonna have a look now. 1 second, I'll look at my phone.
Yeah, just trying to see when this was a buy scan with the D point of the 11th of November.
Buy scan. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so it's hit the median, so
Yeah.
that's fine. It's got the momentum in the scan. It's good for a buy or a sell at that point.
Yeah.
So then you've come into London. There's the outer extensions for it coming right back down. So you've come in at London. I'm on the 1 minute.
Yeah. So this is coming into London now.
Yeah, yellow is London.
So what? So this, you see this? I don't know where it was. Sorry. What time did it have? But yeah, so yeah, here at around 10 o'clock. Sorry, yeah, yours is an hour ahead, isn't it?
Yeah.
So around 10 o'clock, I took that as a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took that as a break.
Yeah.
And I entered at that green candle. You see, you've got the green one that before the pitchfork, and then the second one.
Yeah, that one.
Entered there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it took me out.
Okay. So so what were your 3 confirmations?
So the pitchfork and the quarter theory, and
the quarter theory's up here.
Yeah. So and how many pips was that away? I think.
So sorry. So you took this for a sell or a buy?
A sell, but it was.
Ah, okay. You took this for a sell. You took
Yeah.
this for a sell. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it was
Right.
there. That's it there.
I get you.
Yeah.
Euro GBP. So normally we'd have like a 10 pip stop loss.
Yeah.
Right.
It took me out.
Okay, so your confirmations were the break and the retest of the pitchfork and the quarter theory. So pitchfork touch 1, break and retest 2.
Yeah.
And it's broken and retested the quarter theory. So you got in on that candle.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, then. So what have we had happening before? So since market open, you quite rightly identified the orange line. Our current momentum is down. It's crossed over some time before. Long time before. Won't go back all that way.
I did also notice on one of the other euro pairs that the 62 and the 930 had crossed as well.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm on the 15 minute. Don't know why I'm on that. I need to be on the 1 minute.
I thought it looked a bit different.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Right.
That's better.
So yeah, we had the break retest.
So we've got the
yeah, it was around
I get you. Right. So we've got the pitchfork touch mandatory. Yeah. We've got the orange below the blue as one of our confirmations. Yeah. And we are below the quarter theory. So quite rightly, you thought that's a good break and retest is 7.2. So not bad. Just for maximize that a bit. So why didn't that then continue on down? Because it's not a bad time of day. 9 o'clock. So did you check the Forex factory?
Yeah, so I knew there was news on today.
Yeah, 9:30. So you were in after that.
Yeah.
So that was all okay. We've had the break and the retest, and then it decided, just looking at it
was that big candle that I got in.
Yeah, so you got in there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so it was coming down, and then it decided to go up.
Yeah.
At 11:45, 11:45. So I'm just going to come out to the 5-minute. Because that's come all the way down. So GBP, Euro GBP isn't the fastest of pairs because it's very similar. So that's 50. So it's done 50 pips already. Then it sort of reverses on you because there was more Euro news later on, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Because on a couple of the pairs I was looking at, the Euro just absolutely tanked. Euro USD.
Yeah.
In
and the
fact,
Euro CAD today.
That's that shark it formed, and Euro CAD.
Mm.
So I think you might have just been unfortunate getting caught between two lots of news on a very similar pair.
Yeah, I had later on I had a trade as well, which was a Euro CAD, but I ended up just coming out for break even, and then it ended up going about 30 pips.
Because there's that. Let me just get rid of that.
Yeah, I was in the trade.
I wasn't in this. I had it marked up, but I wasn't in it. But the Euro tanked here.
Yeah, that was it. So if you hang on a minute, I think you might have a different. If you go, oh yeah, there is a pitchfork at the top. Sorry, yeah, no, that is the same as mine, and I got in when it crossed below the 62.
Yeah.
Hang on, no, sorry, I got in before. No, when did I get in?
I've got different pitchforks on because I was looking for something else.
Right, okay.
For something else I was discussing, and let me just get rid of some of this. See if I can find it. There's another. Yeah, I've got a green pitchfork there. Oh, and that one. I don't know which is the most recent. That's a new scan coming. Not a new one. That's a different scan coming down there.
I can't. It doesn't look like what I. Euro CAD. I'll be 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. That was the latest. Oops, I've got all these. This is going to get messy. Hide that.
Yes, so the one I had, yeah, that was it.
Right, you were on that one. I was looking further back for something else. So let me just hide that and put
I
that.
was on about between 9 and 11. You look at the 9th. Sorry. Oh, no, sorry. You're on there 1 hour.
Yeah, hang on a minute. I'll just see if I can switch on that.
Sorry, my dog's making a bit of noise. Lenny.
That's right. We love our dogs.
Yeah, he's a pup, so he's just
goes
through stages of being naughty. It's all right, Elliot. Bring him here.
What breed is he?
He's a boxer.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. He's just a bit hard at the moment.
Oh, you're big. Oh, he's beautiful. What's his name?
Lenny.
Lenny. You know, Robert Patterson used to have a boxer.
Robert? Oh no, I didn't know. No.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it got run over some time ago. He said he and his mum cried so much when he was living at his mum at the time, I think. But oh God, Robert's so funny for a chat. He's such a laugh. Anyway, he adored his
I
boxer.
question if he's looking at the right charts and stuff. Because
we're going to have a one tomorrow, and I'm going to say to him, I don't know what strategy you're trading, and if it's working for you, great. But it ain't what we do. So I haven't a clue what he's talking about some of the time.
when he goes on about support levels, and me and Connor
he's a
work,
nutter.
yeah, he is mental, isn't he?
So you got in on this one?
I've got in, right, so it's below. No, your pitchfork different.
Well, I've got that white one off that D buy point,
Mine was
buy
around
scan.
between 4 and 5 o'clock.
Which would be between 4 your time.
Yeah, so
which would be 5 my time.
Yeah, you see so below where the quarter theory is, you know where they're around here. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I got it here.
Right, so you got in on what we would.
Hello.
Right, yeah, no, I'm just thinking. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with that trade given the momentum. I don't know how many pips you would have got there.
I got in and then I came out for break even, but it would have gone 30 pips.
Yeah, it did go 30 pips. So I think that's really what we would call a stack-in trade. Yeah. Although you've got EuroCAD, you've got quite a big stop loss there, but it doesn't really matter because it's dropped off the face of the cliff. You can see that, and it's a slightly different setup because it's not really off a pitchfork. It's just past the news, is it? Past the news, break and a retest back to the 15 minutes. But so I probably myself wouldn't have gotten that as a trade, but Connor is very successful at this strategy, and he probably would have, I think.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got. I'm a bit more conservative. I think I haven't got. Where's my pitchfork touch, which is mandatory on this strategy? Where's
so
the pitch?
Do you like a pitchfork touch? What if the pitchfork? So say if you're going for a sell, and you're going for, say a rejection trade.
You still because pitchforks we're working off reversal points on the pitchforks. So on our trade check sheet, we have to have a pitchfork touch.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So I've got confused. I thought when a pitchfork and quarter theory were together, you could go for a rejection off a quarter theory as long as a pitchfork's just above.
You have a break and a retest off your pitchfork and a break and a retest off your quarter theory. I see what you're saying. I'll show you in a minute. I'll just make sure you've got this, if I can find it.
Is that the check sheet?
Yeah. So whatever you're trading, whether it's a reversal or momentum or whatever, you must always have a pitchfork touch.
Okay.
Always.
So if I'm going for a reversal trade, and say if there's a pitchfork above the theory, and it comes up, I'm going for a sell because it's touched the quarter theory. Would you want it to go through the quarter theory, reject off the pitchfork, and then come down?
Yes.
So you even if it means it's got to go through the quarter theory to touch the pitchfork, you want that, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
You can get quite strong candles, momentum candles, but big candles that mean that you don't always get, as Connor would say, he saw one last week, I think, where you don't always get a perfect touch, and Chance does the same. If he sees a big engulfing candle coming through, then he doesn't wait for the retest back because you can see the strong momentum. I'm just trying to get back to the beginning of this scan.
Okay. So I know what my problem is now, Sarah. Well, I've lost a couple of trades.
Yeah.
It's because when a pitchfork and a quarter theory are close together, I'm better at the break retest trades.
Yeah.
The ones where the momentum trades. So when it breaks, retests, and goes the same way. I'm not very good at the rejection ones where it hits the pitchfork and comes back.
Well, there's a famous phrase, and remember, everything I tell you is simply what I've learned from Chance and Samantha. There's nothing in my head that I've made up because I never knew anything about this before I started. So the phrase is, the trend is your friend. So the momentum trade is always easier than the reversal trade.
Okay.
So that's not just you. And Chance, I've heard him say that. So if we look at where the D point is on this, I'm just trying to see if we're going to see a pitchfork. There's one with the pitchfork close to the quarter theory.
Yeah, that's it. That's one, yeah.
And this is EuroCAD.
How big was the break on that one? I think I saw that. But...
Yeah. EuroCAD, London session.
So you go from the pitchfork. So see there, that's where
Definitely. Yes,
but from the quarter theory.
Yeah, but it's so close. It's as near as damn it, isn't it? So I wouldn't let that affect me. So, but I would put my long position on my quarter theory, not on my pitchfork. Okay. And the reason for that, and I rewatched Chance's masterclass session, or I watched it rather on Christopher Terry's mastermind thing, and as he says, the key to success of this strategy, obviously, is to have a winning day, a winning week, a winning month, a winning quarter, a winning year. And the way to put together a winning year is to start with the winning week. Sounds obvious, doesn't it? Which starts with the winning day. Yeah. And he said, if you hook up your account to myfxbook.com, so you can actually see the analytics of your progress, percentages, which pairs, win or lose, percentage gain. It's the percentages that will give you the key to the success of everything you want out of this. Yeah. So he says, if you look at how many pips you gained, because this isn't about pips, any strategy should be about percentage compound growth. You'll see a little red mark at the side, which says if you were stop profited out. So the key to being successful is not to get stop profited out. And by that, he means take your trade, go for your 20 pips or whatever. If you see it reversing on you and price starts to drop, the right-hand side of your 1 minute, wherever you've drawn it from, your trade trend line, wherever you've drawn it, I'll just shove it on there for, and it starts to come to the right. So we're in a buy, it starts to come to the right. You're up 20 pips. You're thinking, oh, good, I've done my trade goal. Price always moves to major level. Can I squeeze EuroCAD to get my 50 pips? Can I squeeze it to get 25 to make my daily goal, etc., etc.? But say it doesn't and it drops back here and you're thinking, oh shit, I want to stay in it. I want to get those 50 pips. Yeah. And it drops to the right and then it drops more than 50% back. And you've given away, in effect. So say this was because this was a strong move, you can see the upward momentum, but say it was weaker, right? Say it was weaker and it drops back more than 50%. So you've given up 10 pips. Then at the end of the week, if that happens to you on just 4 trades, so 1 trade a day over 4 days, and you've given back, not lost, you've given back 40 pips to the market. As he says, that's a lot of money to leave on the table, give back to the market. And that's the difference between you scratching your head thinking, I just can't get a winning week, and getting a winning week. Okay. And then, as one of his mentors said to him, a lot of trade, and these are multi-million-dollar mentors, right? These people that whatever said to him, a lot of traders walk away with nothing because they want to get 100% of the move and they're not satisfied with getting 70 or 80. So if you're up 1 to 2, you've got 2%, you've got your 4%, your 20 pips with your 2%, 10 pip stop loss. And then you get up, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, because you can get 1 to 7 or 1 to 8. If you'd stayed in this one, 50 pips, you've got 1 to 5, phenomenally powerful. And 50 pips, that's 2 days work. So it's just that precision on thinking about whenever you get into a trade, what am I going to do with this trade? If I've not traded before today and this is my first trade, it might make me very cautious because I think, well, I'm just going to bag my 20 pips, not get distracted, and at least I've got a trade goal in the bag. Or if I can squeeze it to 25, think, brilliant, I won't walk away and think, oh no, I didn't get 50. I'll think, good, I have achieved my daily goal. So whatever your daily goal is or your weekly goal, generally we work to 9. This is his average speaking. He works to 9% a week, 33% a month, 100% a quarter, 400% per annum.
Yeah.
And that's how we pace ourselves. So that you actually had here a very good trade, because if you look at you had everything going for you on this. This is a perfect trade. So you had a buy scan, buy only up to the median. It comes up in London where we know Euro's moving. It's past the news, but well ahead of the afternoon news. Does a very nice break and a retest. A strong momentum candle there, a doji candle, and probably by the time you sort of looked at all this, you'd be in on that blue one there. That's probably by the time I got to the broker. This is why you need to work your lot sizes out at the beginning of the week, not per trade. You just do them at the beginning of the week for all your pairs. Have it on one piece of paper, so you're not fiddling around thinking, oh, what the hell's my lot size that I'm looking for this pair. And again, it's important to work out your lot sizes, because either you're losing money or leaving it on the table, because the only pair that is 1-to-1 is Euro USD. So a very nice trade there. And then
do you think it's best that I would just stick to the trades like this, just going with the trend for now?
Well, not really. If you see a perfect trade, I mean, this just happens to be a very beautiful trade. So I then think about, once I've got in, press the button, I've either written down, depending on how you're able to do it at work, or 10 pips off, I've got my line set. So 154530, 656530. I've got my alarm set. So if someone interrupts me, taps me on the shoulder, phones me, I know when that alarm goes off. I haven't 630. I haven't got to what's that? 535, 635. I haven't got to think about what I'm meant to be doing.
Do you always leave? So when you enter your trade and you set your alert for 10 pips,
I've done wrong. Yeah.
And you set your alert for 10 pips to go to break even.
Yeah.
Say if it gets to 15 pips, obviously this is a slow moving pair. If it gets to 15 pips and it breaks the trend, would you look at coming out then?
No.
No.
No. Because first of all, once it's hit the 10 pips, and I've got in as near to the pitchfork as I can, because that's very important. If you're more than 7 pips off the pitchfork, that's about chances limit on getting into a trade. I just put that clone on. So once it's hit the 10 pips, I'm then thinking, this is my stop loss at the moment at 10 pips. I'm thinking, because the number of times I used to get stop profited out of a trade, I'd be in EN. As Chance says, you don't get in EN just to come away with 12 or 20 pips. You get in a pair like EN to get 50 pips. That's how fast it moves. And I would get myself stop profited out at 10, 12 or 13 pips. And then I would weep, because it then went on to do the 50 to 70.
Yeah.
So you've got to give any pair, because pairs, as you know, have different currency speeds, but you've got to give them room to breathe, because it flows like a river. So once I'm in this and I've got my stop loss there, it's hit that alert. Now, either for a risk-free trade, I can have it at 1 pip. The problem with that is that price can come back on you to try and retest the major level. In this case, it would may possibly want to come back and retest the 62. It's sort of touched it there. It's got a bit closer up there, but you have got a nice wide gap. So the problem can be, because you're ahead of the 62, that you could get yourself stop profited out. So when it's hit the 10 pips, at least I know I'm in for a risk-free trade. I once said to Chance, how do I grow my account? And he said, just don't lose. But it's true in a way, because there's no shame in being stop profited out. There's always another trade, and at least you haven't given money back to the market. So normally, if I probably would on this one actually put it in at 1 pip, and that's because of this big gap between the 1 minute trend line and the 62. But otherwise, I would be measuring where I am from the 62. So the alarm went off as price got up there. And that means the 62 was down here. So I'd want to run it 3. So I'd probably, at that stage, probably leave my stop loss about there.
So you don't move it straight to break even then? You move it?
No, because I've learned the lesson the hard way. And it is a judgment call. You know, as I say, you've got to give it room to breathe, see how strong the momentum is. If you get it too tight, like something like the fast pairs like GCAD will come right back up before they go down again. So it happened to me the other day. It came right up and it just got me by about half a pip or a pip and took me out. And I looked at it and I thought, yes, I could have given it a little bit more room to breathe. But I was thinking fourth quarter, I'm trying not to lose at all, you know. And then sure enough, it ran on down beautifully.
See, that's my problem there, Sarah, is that if I was in a move like that and it was coming back retouch and I wasn't in for break even and I was looking at losing, I would just automatically come out of it because
Well, I know, and I can't give you a comforting answer from that except to say it's practice. It's best obviously not to lose because you'll hone your eye as you go along. On the other hand, you can be making money, so you know, and that builds confidence as well to think, oh my goodness, you know, I've done 3.545%, or the figures you just gave me, considering you've hardly been doing it at all, is pretty phenomenal. But then I know Connor's picked. I'm sure it's something to do with spirit levels. It just suits you guys, you know, just because you're engineering types, you know. I don't know, but because I'm not an engineering type, but I find this strategy very reassuring because I just love the preciseness of the lines, and I'm not a maths person or anything like that. I just love these lines, you know, they work for me. So I think so. If you saw it coming back on you, you'd get out the trade because you think you were losing. If you're in a buy and price is to the left of the 1 minute trend line and to the left of the 62 EMA, you have no reason to get out of the trade. Now, actually I don't need that. I put the brush on, but I don't. As price got up here, as price got up there to the 50 pips, so you're up now, say call it 40 pips for the sake of rounding it up. So you're up 1 to 4. You've done that in 40 minutes.
I can tell you exactly where on this trade I would have got out. I would have got out. You see that the big reversal candle right at the top?
There.
I would have got out at the bottom of that. That's where I would have come out.
Well, that's not a bad decision. Yeah, I can't argue with that at 1 to 4 in 40 minutes. I think that's a perfectly respectable decision. I truthfully do. And if you thought because some people, you know, would say, well, I agree with you, actually. I probably would have been the same mentality. I'm a bit like that. And there's nothing wrong with it. I've learnt the lesson the hard way. I've hung on in there. It's reversed back on me. And then I've ended up with the 10 or 12 pips instead of I could have had the 22 or 25. So, but if you hadn't got out there and you thought, well, I can see this strong momentum, but then it's touched the 1 minute, then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 15 minutes of stall out. I would have been very uncomfortable at that stage. Yeah. And I'm to the right of the 1 minute line. Then this is a good sign that it wicks I forget the name of that. It's like they're called shooting stars or hammerheads or something. I can't remember the name, but that is a good sign that it's call it a hammerhead with a green sell candle at the top. That means it cannot make the breakdown.
Yeah,
so this is too strong a momentum for it. So that's an extremely good sign. But you've potentially had to suffer 15 minutes of that, and you were up 1-4.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So that is a perfectly respectable result. 10 out of 10. So let's just say we thought, well, price always moves to major levels, strong momentum. It has stalled out, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just going to stay and see if I can squeeze it up to the 45 to the next major level. And then, of course, it takes off again. And that to me is I definitely would have been out there. But I agree with you. My mentality is I would have been out there. But so you could have had that extra 45. How many? Well, you've only made. We haven't made that much more, have you? For staying in another 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So to me, that's not worth it either.
If I'm doing 2 to 4, Sarah, and
2% to gain 4, yeah.
Yeah. My daily goal is 3%.
Daily, yeah, well, yeah, fine. I don't know how many days a week you're trading or what your weekly goal is, but
so my daily goal is I try to set to 3%.
Yeah.
Should I be aiming for the 4% or 2 to 4 trade, or should I just, as soon as I get to that 3%, come out?
You should always be aiming for your 2 to 1 return, your 4%. Chance actually says, but remember he's been at this 6 years and he's master trader and everything. He considers anything less than 20 pips sludge. He doesn't count anything under 15 pips, but remember he's like God compared to us, and the reason is, and he's drawn this chart before, and it is a chart worth thinking about because this is all of us in our trading careers wanting to become millionaires, do really well out of it. And we can do it if we treat it like a college degree and keep to those percentages. That's the real key to the success.
Okay.
So he draws this chart and he said it's quite tough when we're starting like this because it just seems a flat line. And then you get to this stage and then you start withdrawing some money and buying a Gucci belt or whatever. And thinking, I'll move to a bigger penthouse flat and it costing me more and everything. So you end up going back and all the rest of it. And the other reason as well, the other thing as well, is if one doesn't stick to the discipline of slow and steady wins the race. What are my percentages? What am I compounding? Look at my FX book chart. How have I done today? How have I done this week? How have I done this month? Because then what can happen is you can have one bad day, and believe me, it's also happened to me, over trading, over leveraging, not over leveraging quite so much, but maybe tired, lack of focus, randomly pressing buttons, silly trades I haven't really been thinking. And one bad day can literally wipe out 6 months' work. You can lose a lot of money. So that's why we stick to the 2%, because you've got to lose 50 trades in a row to blow an account. So, and that's also why we do a lot of personal development. Always stay around positive people. Get rid of the shit in your life. Don't watch negative films or news. Don't let people drag you down. Stay in the room with Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, Chance. I mean, whoever floats your boat, positive people, because you need your self-esteem intact. Even if you suffer a loss, it's only like losing a game of tennis. You replay, see what you did, learn from it, and you say, I can win this, I am winning this, I'm going to dominate the markets, this is my job, I'm here to win, I'm going to get my money out the markets. So when we are starting off, and most of us have small accounts, and where perception is we're flatlining because we're only making like a few dollars, it doesn't seem much. So that's why Chance says, don't think of it as dollars, think of it as percentage. Oh, I did 3% today. Oh my God, because that is bloody good. And then once you get to this level of the curve, you will find that because you've been patient, only use Les's withdrawing spreadsheet, just take out 10% and get to the stage where you can withdraw 30%, but just take out, don't keep drawing money out. Take the minimum out that you need to treat yourself so you know it's working, but then you will rapidly start to climb, because if you
I'm
think
not taking any money out until I can.
yeah, because I think it's nice to have the odd 50 quid or 100. So you say, well, I can have a meal and a night at the cinema or go into town, because you've earned that. And I think that shows you the belief you have. I actually made that profit. It's a tremendous feeling. Even if you just took, because even if you've had a loss, then you can say to yourself, my self-esteem's restored. I've made 100 today, so you can compound it all. But I think after a while, it's nice to have a little bit out to do, not a Gucci belt or something, but you know what I mean? I think it's good, because if you then get to this stage, or not if, when you get to this stage of that 400% per annum, and you start to see that 4,000 has turned into 16,000, has turned into 64,000. I mean, it then is phenomenal. And actually, I think the slower process is important, because what is important is to learn not to look at the monetary amounts. Look at your trading view and look at the pip counter, because otherwise one cashes out too early. I never, ever, ever look at the money, and I taught myself that early on, because I just look at the pips and where am I, and it teaches you very good discipline, which will stand you in good stead when you're pressing the button on the full lot sizes. So
I always go for my 2 to 4 then, Sarah.
Always go for your 2 to 4. Always go for your 2 to 4. And because it's slower in the winter, and if you can't get the 2 to 4 out, then squeeze it up at 5 pips is 1%. I've got 10 pips out. I've got my 2%. I've got 15 pips out. I've got my 3%. Great. I made the 20 pips. Try and squeeze it up. So even if the market reverses on you, you think, well, I did get 1% out of that.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Is there any chance that we could just go through a pair, but rewind time so that I can't see?
Which one do you want to choose?
You choose one, and
is there a pair you trade more than others, or time of day? You like London pairs, or?
I like the London Open. Yeah,
me too. So does Connor. Yeah.
I don't have a favourite pair at the moment. I'd probably EN, but the only thing is,
well, we'll have a look at EN. I'm not sure how good the chart setups were on.
Just find one with a good scan that gave a couple of. The thing is, I really liked GCAD, and I really like Euro AUD, but then I got bit by both of them. So it's kind of like, at the moment, I'm struggling with the confidence in the pitchforks at the moment. You know what I mean?
Well, you've picked two of the 5 fastest pairs there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if we have a look at the scanner, then I can work out which one to go back to. That might be if we look at an older scan. So go to H1, look further down, let's see what we've got.
And there's so many small scans at the moment, isn't there, that aren't reaching the...
There is. It's the time of year. You won't now find generally a lot of big scans through till about mid-Feb. This is the toughest time of year, great for practicing. You have to squeeze the pips out. In spring, it takes off again. And also, we've got such a weird year, as you know, with COVID, elections, all the rest of it. So
January's hard as well, then, is it?
January is generally harder in terms of not that many new scans and big moves. But, I don't know, because, we've seen EuroCAD tank today. That might be the announcement of COVID vaccine or the manufacturing rates out of Europe. I don't know.
Do you think that makes the, when, so for instance, the elections and stuff, do you know how there was big spikes and big movements? Do you think that throws off some of the scans and makes them a little bit less accurate than what they would normally be because of news?
No, they're not less accurate. If they're drawn and they're solidified, they're accurate. Okay. On the other hand, the bankers, the big boys that move, the market movers and shakers, who are literally moving the market, they hide their big moves behind news, even if news doesn't really warrant a big move, if that makes sense. Okay, and the reason they're doing that, and you'll hear Les go through it time and time again, he knows the strategy a lot better than me, is imbalance in the market. The bankers' moves they do these big sweeps to suck up people's stop losses where they've left money. So they go up they buy to sell and they sell to buy. So they've moved the market up, and it takes $10 million to move a pip. And then they'll want to tank it back down because they've left a load of stop losses of people's money down here that they want to hoover up. And because people have been buying in as they saw price go up, and they've kept those positions, and the banks crash it so they can suck up all that liquidity. And it happens. It's Wyckoff, the Wyckoff. It's called the Wyckoff. One of the first early people in the stock market that identified it. So this is GCAD. It was a shark, but the scan did complete very nicely. You see. So some nice moves there. We could have a look at GCAD, or there's
do GCAD.
Do GCAD. So I don't think I've taken any trades on this recently.
So you picky on what scan you use. If there's a scan that you don't really like that much, would you not just not bother?
Am I picky on the scan? I'm not picky on the scan. If the scan's confirmed and I've drawn it and I'm happy with it, that's absolutely fine. What I am very picky on is which session am I in, fewer pairs that I now trade, and that I now only trade generally, I don't always keep to it, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I've tightened everything up. That's what I'm very picky. And I do my hot pairs first in the session that they relate to. So,
so if you're doing London Open, what pairs will you look at? Will you have a set pairs?
Yes, I look at GU, Euro USD, Euro NZD. I'm not so keen on the chef pairs. I never have been. Then what do I go to? Euro GBP, Euro AUD. So I'll start around the GBP JPY, Euro JPY.
So you look at all the pairs with Euro and GBP in?
Yes, that's my favourite start point, preferably the fast ones. And also I need to get up earlier because I've noticed that I've missed a couple of very good moves at 6:45, 7:30, 7:45. They've been setting up. And I literally stopped to make coffee and I missed two immaculate moves that would have done me 45 pips.
So you will
at 8:10.
You will enter a trade before the London Open at 7:45?
No, not if it's 7:50. They set up just after the hour, but I could have seen what was happening and I got myself prepared. But I mooched over to make coffee, sat down at 9:10. I thought, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right. So if we come back to where this scan is, so that's how I start off. Then if I run out of stuff on that, I like to then go to HourGlass, which is a nice middle of the road, trends very nicely, middle of the road pair. And then although they're for New York session, I will then look at things that might be setting up for New York if they're not ready for London, which I'd look at USD CAD, US JPY. I'm not so keen on bothering about the FX crosses. I personally can't be bothered to trade them. NZD, JPY, stuff like that.
JPY, AUD.
But that's just me, and I'm probably missing out by not doing it. But if I'm stuck in pairs that trade very slowly, you have to look at your own personality because it's not a right or wrong. I can't stand being stuck in. Although I have traded some CHF successfully in the past, but if they're grindingly slow, I just sit here thinking, "Oh God Almighty, what am I doing?"
That's what I struggle with, Sarah. Is that when I enter a trade, I just want it to take off, and when it starts stalling out and moving around, I can't.
Well, I think we're very similar. I don't know what Connor's like. I've never asked him, but I'm like that. But I have noticed that I've had to have more patience because I went back through my figures recently, actually, because I said to Connor, we were on chatting just before other people came on the other day. And I said to him, we'll discuss it. It was me that started it, not him. I said, we'll discuss it another time. Because I said to him, I've had a bit of a trading slump in October. And I said, I think it's because I was trying to learn HFX because it's easier to learn to encourage new people to come on board. And that kind of played with my head because I sit so comfortably in pitchforks, and I've never liked something we used to do called BYOB with the Bollinger Bands and everything. But anyway, I've got to grips with it now. I've kind of got okay with it, and then I got back onto my pitchforks. But I thought, well, what is going wrong with some of these trades? And do you know what it was? It's exactly that. It was me being too impatient, thinking, oh, that's not going to move, I'm closing it.
Yeah.
And I've made myself say that is going the way you want, even if it slipped through the 62. It happened to me the other day, but I was very proud of myself. It slipped above the 62, but I hung on in there and it made the move.
Right.
Yeah. So
it's stalling
exactly
out
the same point as you.
Okay. So basically, what I need to aim to do is to try and enter the trade as close to the pitchfork as I can, so that when it does, it can't really. Because my problem is if I get in, say 5 pips below the pitchfork for a sell, when it comes up closer to the pitchfork, I just start thinking, and like it just plays with my mind.
Yeah, but if you're okay, before we go back to the beginning of the scan to play that.
Are you very picky on your trade? So if there's something that you just don't feel right about, will you just say no?
Yes, I do follow that, but equally, you know, you can have the 3 confirmations and it can go the wrong way on you, but you know you've done the best you can. And sometimes as well, price will go a bit higher, particularly on the faster pairs, before it drops, and you have to re-enter, and that takes a bit of guts and determination to say, actually, I am right. I've lost 15 pips. I can see it is turning. There is that setup there, and Chance goes back through that, and some of his back testing like a pro. So I have sort of learnt to, right, I was just going to show you this quickly. So here, GBP CAD. So here, a break and a retest. I mean, never mind the other confirmations. I just want to show you one particular thing. So, and I know I've seen Connor draw this, and we've both got it. So here's our potential buy, for example. So break and retest, and you wait for the curl. That's not an entry. That's not an entry. That's not an entry. No entry. No entry. No entry. No entry. No entry. Your only entry is as it turns.
Yeah.
There. And so if you see it coming back to the pitchfork, be patient, because all that Forex is the transfer of money from the impatient to the patient. It happened to me today. I was on HFX strategy actually, and I had four out of 4 wins. I did have 1 loss, but I made it back straight away with 2 wins, and it was at 70 to 80%. So I ended up, you know, up anyway. So that was fine. The general movement was there, but I could have been impatient and got in, but I thought, no, I'm going to wait and see if it actually touches the pitchfork. And then I took it onto the HFX and then took the trade from there on the HFX, because there wasn't really a trade on this one. So it was a bit of a hybrid. But my point is that you see how it slipped through, but you wouldn't be getting in. You wouldn't be getting in on that green candle anyway for a buy. You wait for it to turn in your favor.
So would you have entered at, you know, the big engulfing one?
Yeah.
Would you have entered at the top of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Connor may well have entered anywhere along that candle, because he could see it was a strong buy candle. He would see that upward momentum. I don't know how many pips that break and retest is. 10. So a very nice break and retest. And Chance, if Chance sees the momentum and then he saw that, boom, he'd be in. He wouldn't wait for a new open of candle up here.
Wouldn't it?
No. No.
See, I'm not entering too early then. I think I'm getting unlucky.
Well, it sounds like it to me, because to me you wouldn't have made the percentages you've made so quickly if you hadn't grasped a lot. That's more than luck, what you told me at the very beginning.
I've lost 4% today, and it's proper.
Yeah, but well, again, good for you that you've got your percentages worked out. If you've lost 3 trades at 6%, shut the computer, walk away for the day. 6% is our maximum. So at 4% and you've shut the computer and stopped, that's not bad at all.
Okay, so
what would be worse would be to carry on trading. What
would you say for me? Would you say that 6% shut the computer?
It's 6%. That's chance. I just follow chance's rules. Okay. 3 trades, 2% loss. Shut the computer. Get your head clear. Go away for the rest of the day. Come back fresh the next day.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Right, okay, that's all right then. That means that I'm.
Yeah, you're fine, because pitchforks are 70% accurate. You just have to do your 7 out of 10, and you'll get everything out of the market you ever want in life. It'll do everything.
So what happens? What happens if I get to -4%?
Yeah.
And say I get back up to, I win a trade and I get to 0, break even for the day. Would you say carry on trading?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're back at 0. So you've still, in effect, got your 6% capacity.
Okay, right, that's fine.
As long as your head's all right with it, you know. If you feel slightly underconfident, then you need to reset. If you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I've had that today. I mean, not underconfidence, but just saying, because I've got to set myself targets of what I want to achieve and win. So I was doing well and I wanted to carry on, but I thought, well, actually, I'm getting a little bit tired. Stop now, because I've done, pretty well. And then also I thought to myself, when I've been in trades, I sometimes have the TV on in the background, but I had the TV off, and I was very, very focused. And there was 1 or 2 which I just thought, oh, do you know what? I think I've slightly missed it. So I just didn't take the trade.
Yeah, I do that.
It's a lot of kind of gut feeling, isn't it? That you just know when to press that button. It's when you're really in the zone. And Les talks about this. He says, if the wife's calling him, he said, I literally can't hear her. So less time, intense focus. Forex is the only thing, Chance says, that pays you less the more money you're on the computer, because your mind wanders, you see things you don't want to see, you get a little bit tired. It's a really amazing thing. But when you're focused and in the zone, and that whole feeling is there, boom, you press that button, you just know it's right. And so I had 2 instances today where they may even have slightly worked out. I can't remember now, but I just thought, no, do you know what? I just feel slightly off with my timing. So I didn't press the button.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Because, I've done it before. Believe me, this is all through hard, bitter experience. Yeah. I thought, I'll sod it. I'll press the button. And then what happens? It's just your money's burned in the corner.
Yeah. So you've got obviously a massive library of scans. So you're getting more signals than me. But, well, more opportunities than me. So I think that's part of my problem as well, is that I'm just, because I've not got a massive library of scans, I'm not getting loads and loads of opportunities. And also I'm quite picky because I don't feel 100% with the rejection trades.
The rejection trades are more difficult.
Yeah, they're what I struggle with. I understand them, but my problem is, when so say you've got a pitchfork and a quarter theory, and price is just literally bouncing in between them.
Yeah.
Or slightly breaking them by 2 or 3 pips, but then keeps just bouncing in between, slightly breaking them, and then it goes for, say, a break, retest, and then break, retest again. And it keeps bouncing, testing it. I just can't find myself.
I totally. You shouldn't be in a trade. You see there between that pitchfork and quarter theory there.
Yeah.
That's what I call a cheese wedge. It's a trap. It's a price trap. It's sitting that for frigging hours. Price could be bouncing along that. So that's all that's happening to you there.
So if you go to the top there, if you go at 5 o'clock, you see there, that's a break and that's a retest, isn't it?
Up here?
Yeah.
Yes, but only off the quarter theory.
Okay, so we do. Can you zoom into that for me quickly?
Yeah, yeah. Hang on, I was just trying to measure the gap between the pitchfork. Oh, it's a big pitchfork. So technically that could be a trade because it's over 60 pips on the pitchfork leg, although I'd need to see if it has hit the median. I can't tell where the scans come from.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm getting confused. I thought that was a pitchfork. That's my bad.
No. So if I come back to the beginning of this scan, because the bigger the scan, the stronger they are. If a pitchfork leg is over 60 pips and after it's hit the median, you can take a trade off quarter theory.
Okay.
A little bit more advanced, but you can.
Yeah.
Connor's done it. He can show you that.
Yeah, he showed me that before. Where it's the break and the retest of the quarter theory, but he likes to do it when the 62 is just crossed with the 930. That's when he likes to do it.
Yeah. Okay, so there's our D point. So what we'll do, so as I say, this was a big scan. So what we'll do is just play some of it and see. I'll tell you when there's a trade or there isn't, or you can stop me. So we could just go from open of market on a Thursday. Okay, so no break and retest of the D point at this stage. However, strong impulse candles up and rejection of quarter theory. Although the 62 is below the 15 minutes, would seem to imply it's not going to come back down to this level.
If it was to, from that point, the point where price is now, if it was to come down and touch the quarter theory and then start to reverse, would you take that as a buy, or would you want it to touch?
Definitely not, until I've got a pitchfork touch, number one, and number two, unless there's a strong momentum back up, because price will often want to retest the 15 minutes and come down. That 62 is telling you to sell. If you look at your confirmation checklist, because it's crossed below the 15 minute.
Okay.
So even if it did that down there, no trade. So
if 62 is just below the 15 minute, you wouldn't even think about buying, even if you've got your pitchfork?
Only if it's a strong momentum up and it's clearly about to cross.
Okay, so that's where I'm going wrong as well. I thought that you only worried about that when they actually cross. I thought once they were separate, it didn't matter.
No, because this is our current momentum in the market. So this blue line, which is formed by 15 minutes, 15 times 62, because this is 62 candles, exponential moving average, meaning it's weighted more towards current price, as opposed to the simple moving average where it's just equal candle prices action. So what this one means, which is 15 times 62, giving you a 930 length. If I put that on there, a horizontal ray, and come to the 15 minute, you can see why that is how the 1 minute chart, 62 on the 1 minute, would appear as if we had to flick over to the longer term to see the confluence on the 15-minute time frame. And I'm sorry to pick on Robert, I don't mean to, but he's always saying, oh, I look at the longer time frames. We don't need to look at the hourly or 4 hourly. The longest we're ever in a trade is 45 minutes to 4 hours. That's like going to the blooming Sahara for us. I mean, I don't know what, so that's all that we look at. We just have that to make sure. So if the 1 minute, if the orange has crossed the blue, your current momentum has taken over. So down below the blue for a sell, above the blue for a buy, or strong momentum that you can see it's about to cross. Okay, so you would never, ever, ever take a buy trade if the 62 is below the 930. Never. So you'd never. Correct. Because it's not on that confirmation checklist. Okay, so basically what I thought, and I think Connor's struggled to explain it to me before, so I misunderstood him.
if the price was right now to come down and touch the pitchfork and then come back up past the quarter theory, I would take that as a trade, because as long as it's above the 62,
Well,
I
then
wouldn't.
where's your break? Where's your pitchfork touch and your break? And
But
I
below,
see, because
yeah,
you're
below,
thinking of
yeah.
this bit. You're thinking
Yeah,
of
yeah.
this.
So if it came down, touch the pitchfork. Yeah.
Right, came down and touched the pitchfork.
Yes, and then.
Oh, okay. If it came down, touched the pitchfork, then came up here.
And crossed above 62.
Yes, because by then this would have evened itself out. This would have gone like something like that then, possibly.
Yeah.
And then come back up. Then we would have got in for the buy, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
But by that time, this would have come down, and we always want our confirmations all together. So we want our 62 to be in our, get rid of that, in our red box, along with, they need to be as close to the red box as possible. So our 62 needs to be sort of in our red box area with our quarter theory and our pitchfork.
Okay.
So that's all far too far apart anyway.
Okay. So you wouldn't have.
We like all our three confirmations as tight together in our red box to protect us against being taken out, because price has to break through those floors.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And if price is above the 6, all the 62 is a rolling line of support and resistance. So it's holding you as a floor for a buy.
Okay.
All that this dotted orange line is a mathematical based line of support and resistance, quarter theory, or you can call it a psychological line of support and resistance, because it's where the bankers put their stop losses. All that the pitchfork is a trend line based on Fibonacci, making it aggressively highly accurate for trading over a 10 pip stop loss. It's that accuracy and the Fibonacci that the scan is based upon. Those two Fibonacci based elements is what enables us to have the 10 pip stop loss. But you want all your confirmations together in your red box, because I used to do that. I used to think, oh, I've got a break and a retest back there. But the further back the break and the retest, say that was a break and a retest, the further back means the longer the time frame price is taking to play it out.
So you're always looking at either the rejection off the pitchfork or the break and retest.
Yes, price will only ever do two things. Exactly that.
What if, so price is traveling upwards and the pitchfork comes first, it breaks the pitchfork, and then it then breaks a quarter theory and comes back? Would you want it to come back and touch a pitchfork? Or would
That's a very interesting one. And Connor and I had that the other day. It was on his live session and we'd seen it on charts. Very good point. So if it's a momentum and it's coming up past the pitchfork, it comes up past the quarter theory, but you don't get a full break and a retest back to the pitchfork, that's okay, because you may well have the 62 nudging up, supporting it as well. So it may come back to the 62 or the 1 minute trend line and not quite back. We like it to come back as far as the pitchfork, but sometimes it may not.
Well, just touch the quarter theory.
Yeah, just touch the quarter theory, the 1 minute trend, the 62. Slip through a little bit, but not quite back down to the pitchfork. But if you look at the candles just preceding it on the way up, maybe they were bigger impulse candles. And Connor's quite good on spotting that.
See, that's part of my problem, Sarah, is that I've been saying letting it reject off the quarter theory that is just below a pitchfork, very close, and I'm playing off the quarter theory, not the pitchfork. And also I'm letting it break through a pitchfork and then through the quarter theory, and I'm entering when it comes back and retests the quarter theory, not the pitchfork.
Yeah, but that can actually be all right. Sometimes it can be all right, because this is 6.6 trillion. It isn't formulaic that you'll always get a 10 pip break and a retest. So like if you've had a long stall out before, I think we saw it in the Eurocad earlier on, Charlie was in that last week, and if you've had price stalling out all throughout Tokyo, then it just drops off the cliff. and you're good to go on the sell, you're not going to get a break and a retest, but all that stall out, price has said, and it's got to make a decision. It's got to do something. It's not going to sit like that all day. Then sure enough, plummet, or it's up off the other way. So let's just play a bit of this, see what we see.
Okay.
So no trade at the moment. So it's momentum's coming up. We're off that D point. It's obviously not coming back. It's rejecting off the quarter theory. It's coming up to test the 15-minute. We're just coming into the open of Tokyo, which doesn't move more than 20 to 50 pips. Now you can see price, not a lot of volume. This is GCAD. Neither of these are in session. It's London and New York session, and we're in Tokyo. So just trundling along. So but I've got no trade here. I don't care what it's doing because it's selling, not buying, and I'm not up at the median. It's in Tokyo. I would not have taken any trade no matter what it's doing. Now I've got no pitchfork. There's no trade, no trade, not interested. I've got my alerts set on my pitchfork levels. Although this is a big scan, so I could have quarter theory trade, but only after it's touched the median in order to ensure the momentum of the scan. So not interested in any of this. Oh, now I'm interested. Bang on the hour, 7 o'clock. Market started to expand because what you have to remember is German stock market's coming on, Tokyo's closing and London's opening. This is called the expansion in the market between now and 8 a.m. your time.
Okay. So
this is where you get what we call Tokyo fake outs, where you can pick up some pips. Yeah. So particularly in the spring, I found trades 7:30. If I can be bothered to get up, well, I should be bothered because it's, our job. So it's gone right up now.
Yeah, interesting. Touches.
So that's where I would have had an alarm, or back down at that D point possibly, but preferably up there. So, and I've got strong momentum coming up. Had a rejection off. This might be what you call a. That's 3. No, it's not. It's 2. If it's one to 2 pips, possibly we consider that a touch in such a big market.
How far is that off the pitchfork there? Sorry.
Well, it was about 3. It was about 4 pips. It was too much. It was too much. It was 7 pips. So now that remember, there is a candlestick pattern chart. Les has got one. There's various patterns. I'm not brilliant on them. I learn as I go along. Dojis, and you can see the candle tells the story. It's wicked off that pitchfork. It doesn't like that level, and that next sell candle has perfectly rejected off the pitchfork. Yeah. So this is a great area of interest to us at 7:30 coming up, because we've now got the 62 saying buy, but we've got the pitchfork and quarter theory telling us sell. Yeah. So we've got mixed signals, that's all. And remember, all we're looking for is 3 confirmations. So there's no trade at the moment because of the conflict on the confirmations, but we're getting very interested because it's had some expansion and it's done 50 pips. Right, so another lovely break and a retest, this time back to the quarter theory, as you said. And this is, but would I take this as a trade? Would I take this as a trade? Because that is above, I would wait for it. The rule is, and what chance teaches us, is we wait for price to get below the 62, because at the moment, price is holding your price up.
Yeah. So you wouldn't take that as a trade?
No, because this is a floor. Yeah. Okay. So let's just see if it gets below the. So it did get below, and we're at London Open. So no trade ever 10 minutes before the hour because you get fake outs. Yeah. So don't ever get in a new trade. So a lot of doji, 1, 2, 3, 4 stall outs just past the London. So this is saying sell me, sell me, sell me. Lots of wicks there and past there. So I'm very interested now in this as a sell. I can't even remember what this does, by the way. So I'm just going to put that on there just so we've got something to look at. Yeah. I mean, obviously, GCAD would be normally 15 pips.
Okay. For it to sell, you wouldn't mind the touch off the quarter theory again, so you would take it with a touch off the quarter. It wouldn't have to touch the pitchfork.
Oh, off this, that's look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 solid rejections. Doesn't need to come back to the pitchfork. I mean, it's GCAD, so it may well, but and that wick there.
Yeah. Right.
And the stall out. So I don't know what it's going to do. I can't remember if I don't think I was even watching this. Oh, right. So here we are. So
Would you have put in there?
No, because I don't like how far it is off the. I don't like the stop loss.
Okay.
And my stop. No, never.
No.
Lovely setup. Too big a stop loss.
Yeah. You'd want the 62 to get a bit higher first before.
I just want to trade where these are closer to the 62, only not more than 7 pips, absolute maximum, 3 to 4 preferably. So let's see if we've got a trade further on. So that I wouldn't have got in there. Okay. So now this is why I'm saying to you, sometimes, or this is slightly different setup. You can be stopped out for trade, lose your 10 or 15 pips, but the setup is still there on the second or third go. So, and Chance does these master classes on them. So even if you've lost 10, 20, 25 pips, and you get in on a fast pair on the third go, because the move is there. It just sometimes the market does it on the third move, the second or the third move, and you make your 50, 60 pips, you're still 35 pips up for the day. Do you see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there are some nuances that come with time. So I just move that along because we've still got this saying, I don't like quarter theory and I don't like this pitchfork. We've got the 62, as you say, has moved up a bit, but we've still got massively big stop loss that we don't like. I mean, I never move the stop loss. I just don't do it. So occasionally I might have moved it to 13, 14 on a 10 pip or 15, 16, but usually I regret it if I do. I'd rather let the thing stop out, to be honest. And here we are again. And that is just about on the hour. So I don't know if it's going to go up or down because it's still in effect saying buying. Mm-hmm. And this is a buy scan, remember?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so you can't actually sell.
Right. So this wasn't ever a sell. Remember, we were in a buy scan. We're coming up to that's our median. So actually, there was never a sell for us on this, but this is coming up for this is a lovely setup. Right. So we have, hang on, wrong way round. This is a lovely setup. So
how far is that off the quarter theory first? Because so now, would you not say that it's got to break 7 pips past the pitchfork, or is it 7 pips past the quarter theory?
10 pips preferably.
Yeah.
What you've got here, you've got the 62 has crossed above.
Yeah.
You've got 2 very strong impulse candles. You have a break and a retest back to quarter theory. That's the first thing we're measuring, which is up to that top of that wick. Oh, no, wrong one. Take that off. Gosh, 20 pips. Doesn't look like it, does it?
It doesn't look like it, no.
No. So you've got a solid break and retest the quarter theory with 2 lovely rejections off. So now what we're looking for here is we need the break and the retest back. But this is something that you discussed earlier, and it's something that Chance does. We've got our 3 confirmations beautifully in our red box. We've got our pitchfork, our quarter theory, and our 62. We've got all the confirmations we need. So often, I don't know if often is too strong a word, and Connor is very good at discussing this sort of thing. You've got 2 impulse, strong momentum candles, and you've had a 17 pip or whatever it was, break back to quarter theory. Mm-hmm. So I think Connor would say if he was on this call, that he wouldn't wait for a break and a retest back to that pitchfork. He'd be in the trade there. And he's seen Chance do it.
He would have gone on the break of the retest of the quarter theory, and as soon as it
because of these candles like that, because of that beautiful break and retest back to the quarter theory, and because that 62 is virtually right there, and we've got all 3 confirmations, including that, all in our red box. So actually we have it all there. Now when we press that play button, I don't know what it's going to do. You know, how many pips is the pitchfork off? It's 13 pips off. So on a fast pair like GCAD, it very well could come right back down here, even to slip through to test the 62. Because it's such a fast pair. So let's see what it does. Came back, a 13 pip break and a retest. What a little beauty. If you didn't catch it there on that doji or there, and thought, because you thought, oh wow, what's going on here? It's saying again, buy me. And there's your entry, and that there. Now, you can also get a bit caught if it turns on you, like you were saying earlier on, because that 62 isn't up on the pitchfork. So this is where you have to look at the momentum of your trade, get stuck in that, which of course, you know, we've all done and we all hate. So at this point anyway, one would have put on one's 1 minute trend line, which is a bit subjective, you know, where you shove it, never on current price because that's still moving. But let's say it was, I don't know, you could have it out there. It's GCAD, so it's a fast pair, but you've had that happen. So your price could well come back here again. I don't know what's going to happen. And it doesn't. So it says buy me again. Gives you another chance. It says please buy me with that wick there. So even if you missed all that, perfect entry somewhere along here.
See there I probably wouldn't enter until I get a buy close candle, a buy candle to close, and then start of it. The next one looks like it's starting to buy as well. So there,
I would definitely wait for a buy candle, 100%. But you've had 1, 2, 3, plus that break and retest back there. So any of those blue candles there, anything there is fine. Because I can see that hammerhead down there, which means the next one's going to be in the opposite direction. Then the little indecision, spinning top. And your 62 is now above your pitchfork. Remember that. Your 62 is above your pitchfork.
So that's a good sign. So you're hoping now that it won't come back and touch the pitchfork.
Well, if you look at GCAT, and now that's my trade, this is my trade trend line, moving it up there. Trade from when you're in the trade, you've got your trend line and your trade trend. So now already it's done the 20 pips. That's GCAD for you. Once it moves, it moves. So off there.
See, I wouldn't have got in
8 minutes, 20. You've done your 20. You've done your pips for the day.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have got in this trade.
No, I would have, but I would have probably.
Oh, you would have waited till there.
No. If you come back to when it first breaks. Yeah, there. I would have got in when it comes down to touch the quarter theory. I would have got in on, you know, the first buy candle that breaks through and closes through the pitchfork there.
That one.
I would have probably got in halfway up the one after that.
That one.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think about that.
It's a bit far away, isn't it?
It's a bit far away. It's a little bit far away. I see what you're saying, but actually that would have still given you a successful trade. How many pips was that? And you had an 11 pip break and a retest, plus those momentum candles. There is an 11 pip break and retest there. So I'm not sure I object to that.
Yeah.
I don't object to that at all.
So where would you have entered there?
Well, that's a bit difficult to know. Where would I have entered on this? I'm a bit hesitant sometimes. So I probably would have been somewhere in over here.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, Connor's like, I'll tell you what Connor reminds me of when I used to go skiing. You know, you get those 5-year-olds on the monoboard things, and they just like got their crash helmets on and they just whiz past you like 200 miles an hour. Because we trade together occasionally. We don't do it now, but and he'll say, oh, I'm up 50 pips. Would you get out at this quarter theory? And I go, yeah, I'm getting out. And he says, oh, I think I'll stay in. And it goes on and does another 50 pips. So I think I'm more conservative. He just kind of like, poof, you know, he's off.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he would have been bang. He would have been off there. But I think.
So you would have waited for another touch. Because that is a break and a retouch, isn't it?
Because when I'm getting a feel for them and I'm looking at it and I get into the moment, it is a break and a retouch. I don't know. I can't tell you. Sometimes yes, or sometimes I've been a bit hesitant.
So I'm not wrong getting in there then.
No, absolutely right. That's a good entry. And sometimes price does take a little while before it, you know.
Yeah, see that would have scared me a little bit. That and
it shouldn't scare you, because that's what, get your ego out the way, because that's what these are very accurate things, projecting reversal points across the market. The fact you've got these wicks here, and you're to the left side of your trade trend line, and to the left of your 62, and you've got all your beautiful confirmations tied up together, and you've seen that, you should not be thinking about getting out the trade. If it started to come down here, you might start to say, oh shit, what's happened? It's failed on me.
Yeah.
But not while it's all along here.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Okay.
So you have to get, it's like a river, you have to let price do its thing. And that's why Chance says, and I'm not always good at this, but that's why Chance says he sets the alerts. He says it's the quickest way to drive you insane emotionally is to keep looking at the charts once you're in a trade. He looks at his reading and his TV and whatever he's doing. So let's just see what else happens. Oh, you see, bang, look at that. So if we hadn't taken our 20 pips, it went GCAD very fast, the other side of it all, right back down. And that's just past the 10 o'clock candle. So what would I have done then? Well, this is why I often get out at this stage and I fail to get the bigger moves, because I panic and I think, oh God, you know, I'm going to grab my money here. It's wicked off. It's all those wicks. And then if it does that, then I'm thinking, oh my God, you know, I've given up all my money now. So I'm not always very good at running the 50 pips or more when market does that. But there we are. Sure enough, it does a lovely little wick doji candle off the 62. It has slipped past that, but sure enough, GCAD. And that is, how long would we have been in the trade if we'd taken it from there? From there, you said, didn't you? That one.
Yeah.
So that would have taken us 1 hour, and we would have had 33 pips.
I would have come out with probably 20 pips.
There we are. And there's the 50, because this is GCAD, one of the fastest pairs in the market.
Yeah. There's no way there that I would have been
Well, to be honest, me neither. I'm not very good at holding on.
Also, because when it gets to 20 pips, my stop loss would be at break even there, and when it comes down and touches the pitchfork, that's it. That would have been me out for either break even, or I probably would have just took 20 pips, I think. Or else I would have been out for break even.
Well, I don't. Oh yeah, you see, it's difficult. It's such a difficult thing, isn't it? Because your 15 pip alarm would have gone off. Where do you put your 1 pip stop profit? That would have stopped you out.
Yeah,
unless you're going to leave it behind the 62 by 3 pips or so, and you'd be down here, because it is GCAD. You can see it has got a beautiful momentum. I mean, look how far above the 15-minute line that we are.
Yeah.
That big gap shows you the confidence we should have to stay in a trade like GCAD like this.
Okay.
That's a big gap. So its momentum is very strong. So if you had ended up thinking, oh shit, I'm right back down here, I think if I were you, I would have said to myself, I'm right on that pitchfork. I'm past the candle of the hourly candle. Oh, by the way, sometimes depending on the time, I will look at the 15-minute candle, the 30-minute and the 30-minute candle, and obviously the hourly candle.
Okay.
Right. So if this had happened at 15 minutes past the hour, or half past the hour, I'd look to see what that 30-minute candle had done. Yeah, you get me?
Okay.
Because say, for example, it had been a sell candle on the 30-minute, but with a long wick on it at the bottom, then I know it's struggling to break that pitchfork. And then I'll drop down, have a quick look at the 15-minute, then the 5, and then back to the 1. So I can say, oh, all right then. So I think if you said to yourself, I'm panicking, I'm now going to get out at here, you've had 2 rejections off the pitchfork and then a little doji thing. Why not say to yourself, do you know what, I'll give it another few minutes. I think I'll stay in, because you can see it then starts to work its way back in your favor with the doji off the 62 there.
I may have stayed in it, Sarah, but I probably would have put my stops to entry, and I think it would have stopped.
And that would, I know, and I've been caught out a lot like that. So it's a judgment thing, isn't it? But we have to remember this is an extremely fast pair, and at that stage we should really, and I'm still learning this lesson, be running our stop profit or stop loss, as it still would be, 3 pips behind the 62.
Okay, that's fine.
Which that's 6 pips. So you're right, with brokers costs we would have been out the trade, because it would have been right on the
would have got me.
You see, this is where something like this can just take you out. Honestly, it's happened to me a lot, that so unless we'd said, all right, we're just going to stay below our quarter theory, just pinch it a bit.
Okay.
So it's just experience, isn't it? And replaying like this, and then
see, I would be worried if it started coming towards the quarter theory, because if it had then come below the pitchfork and between the pitchfork and the quarter theory.
Oh no, well I agree with you, and we would have been out the trade anyway. But in this particular one, because of those 2 little rejections, everything I said, if you had been down at that level, you may as well have said to yourself, oh, do you know what, I'll just watch it a little bit, because and then sure enough, it does get you back up. It does get you back up to your 33 pips. And then you probably, if you had stayed it there, because it's exactly, you and I are very similar, exactly what you said about 10 minutes ago about where I said to you, I've had to really think about why I'm not making the moves that I want to be making, and it's because I'm doing what you're doing. And I'm just, so now I've said, all right, then you've got to do something different. And I've made myself, I don't always manage it, but I've made myself try and be more patient, and it's paid off.
Yeah, I have no patience.
No, I know. Well, I'm a bit the same. So, but it is paying off. Just try, do a small lot size and try and twist that approach.
Yeah.
And then you'll sit and you think, oh wow, so just do it on like a 0.01. So it's real money, but it's just like 10 cents or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just so you get the real feel for it. So anyway, let's see what happens a little bit. So
there's a touch.
Yes, big arc down.
Yeah.
Didn't get up to our median on this
so
scan. So the momentum of the scan has failed. I don't know if there's some news or something, but it doesn't do a break and a retest. Or it does quite a big one, but not perfect. But again, so we're not on the median. So technically, we should wait for that, even on these big scans, before taking a sell. So I probably.
Would you ever not wait?
Huh?
Would you ever take it before it reaches the median?
I have done, but I've done it accidentally. So I try to stick to the rules, but there have been times when your brain gets a bit tired and you've forgotten what you were looking at.
I get that with checking the time before my trade. Sometimes I'm like, oh shit, it's 10:02.
Oh, do you know, I did that twice to myself recently.
Yeah.
And I thought, you've just gone. Oh no, I've just thought, what the hell do you think you were doing? So a big break and a retest there, but again, you've got your 3 confirmations together. Stop loss covered. 62 pitchfork quarter theory, but you've only got a big break and a retest. And here it's testing the 15-minute. Now, what this says to me, that's stalling on the 15-minute and this big drop down, I don't know what it's going to do, is that actually it might do a bit of what you were talking about, where it just plays between the two, because price will test that 15-minute and do a bit of ranging. So sure enough, it's, this is our London to New York crossover. New York is known as New York reversal because it normally reverses the moves that have happened in the previous session. So after this, I would be expecting, I don't want to predict the market, obviously it's not for us to predict, that maybe price will want to buy. So that's what I'd kind of be trying to see in a setup. So do we get a buy here? I don't know. Not at the moment. It's just playing between the two. No, it's gone down for a sell. It's carried on down. So GBP's gone down. So take that off. So didn't get any break in a retest back to the pitchfork.
No.
It's got one to the quarter theory, all that stall out on quarter theory. So, and the crossover there. So probably not a trade for me. I wouldn't have seen this as a trade because I would have had alert set. Connor may have because of the stall out.
But it's a buy scan, isn't it? So you can't.
It's a buy scan, and we're not up at the median, but it is a very big scan with about 114 in between the pitchfork legs. So it's a very big scan.
So if it's a big scan, then you can make.
Well, you can, but chance does say wait till it hits the median because it shows the momentum in the scan. So hang on a minute. We've got a cross above, a break and a retest, plus back to quarter theory. Quite late in the day on New York. It's getting to tea time. I don't trade. That's another thing I've honed in on. I just don't trade late in the day.
What time's your cutoff point?
About this sort of time, tea time, because usually I try and stick to London, and things sometimes won't make the full move because it's coming towards the late evening, and then towards the very close of play, the brokers will try and trick you into thinking there's a move there, and then they trap you in the spread. So when it opens again the next day, you've got a gap of 20, 30 pips. So you have to watch that. But anyway, there is a trade here potentially. So we can cover everything. So
would you be entering as soon as price crosses above that pitchfork now?
Well, what I don't like about this is the 62's tailed off. And I don't want to get caught in this cheese trap area. Cheese wedge sort of area. So, and that's quite a big break and a retest with a strong engulfing candle down. So for me personally, potentially, yes, it's a trade. It's a bit late in the day. Depends on what I've done before. But I would want to see this 62 pushing up more because otherwise price can just test it and sit in here. And I don't want to get stuck after tea time in something like that. Again, I don't know. It's GCAD, Canadian dollar. So we've had, again, price trap. It's stuck in there. Says it didn't like it. 5:30 your time. Just playing along the quarter theory. Oh, very late in the day. Whoa, cheeky little thing. Cheeky. Anyway,
see, that's quite nice how the 62 is quite high there, isn't it?
That's beautiful, but I wouldn't be even looking at it myself because I just wouldn't be on the charts. But too late in the day for me. But there's your trade. There is a trade there.
Okay.
That is, you can see. I mean, that's just, anyone could see that, can't they? I don't even care what the break and the retest is. And your 62 supporting you there. So any of this lot here is a trade, and you've got your 20 pips. But only very briefly. Yeah. And bang, up again. 62 still going up. Very late in the day.
It's a nice one, though.
Beautiful one.
Right.
Yeah. So there you are.
Yeah, you've really helped, Sarah.
Oh, you're really welcome. It's my pleasure. I hope it is helpful for you.
Yeah, that's really helped.
But you are also in good hands with Connor, honestly. I'm so proud of him. I know I sound like his granny, but you know,
Yeah.
I love him to bits. He's worked hard on it and he's so into it. And you know, it makes me feel quite emotional. I just want to see you young people get your houses, get your lives how you want it. And to think I've played a small part in that, you know, it really, really means a lot to me. I get quite choked up about it. I really do. I've got a daughter of 20 and, you know, you kind of think, you know, it's so lovely to see because it's a tough world out. I'll just stop sharing now. We don't need to be recording this.
Yeah.
I'll just stop.